Good morning, it's Brian. You got me here again. It's Expert Dojo. We are on the art of startup war. And what does the art of startup war means? It means that we speak with early stage startups only which we have invested in ourselves. So we're speaking to these companies and talking to them about how they are going to go from where they are right now to becoming that multi-billion-dollar unicorn that will allow all of you wonderful investors the same fantastic opportunity that we are hoping to have as well, which is that you get showered in the riches that comes from supporting the right startup. Now, we believe Formaloo are the right startup. We believe that Farokh is in the most incredible position to be able to bust through because he's dealing with two of the biggest problems that are currently facing any business. The first one is, how do I sell more? It's really, many businesses would say, kind of, if we nail that, we can solve any other problem because the revenue that comes from selling more allows us to be able to invest in solving most of the other logistical and other problems that are out there. The second thing that Formaloo do, which I love, is that they use data that is available to companies, which they have never thought of using in a smart way themselves, so that they can actually manage the entire client experience better. It's not just that they can use the data, put it together, come out with conclusions, and based on those conclusions, they can sell more. No, it's that they can manage the entire client experience. So 12,000 folks who are currently using the platform already cannot be wrong. And let's go into this in a little bit more detail. So I would like to, firstly, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian.
Secondly, welcome to the investment. So I'm so pleased to have you in the Dojo Accelerator. I'm so pleased that we invested in you. I'm absolutely stoked that we managed to find you on the other side of the world in Estonia, and that now the whole world is going to find out what the first 12,000 customers on your platform already know, and that is that you guys are a change maker.
Thank you very much. We are very, very glad and honored to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about Formaloo. Talk to me about where the idea came from and then how you started to build it into where it is today.
Absolutely. So this is my third startup, actually. So I had two previous startups which I exited from. And in both startups, what I encountered and what I struggled most with our clients and customers were when they wanted to grow from their data. So everywhere we go, everywhere we went, we saw that our customers, our clients are asking us how to analyze their data so they can improve their business, so they can grow their business, so they can understand their business a little bit better. Some of them had pretty good ideas what to do. Some of them didn't. And some of them wasted a lot of resources on trying to do this right. But what happened with them was that a lot of them didn't have a lot of resources to do this properly. They didn't have enough money. They didn't invest enough time, and they mostly worked with second-rated data scientists and data analysts, which is a nightmare, and it turns a business to a kind of clunky reports and untranscribable actions that nobody can do.
And also, by the way, just on that point, it's also not their core capability. So
No,
like it's a little
not.
bit, I find when we talk about like consumers or businesses working and trying to get the best out of data, it's like saying to them, hey, you know what, you should really work and make sure that your cybersecurity protocols are okay. They're like, I just sell washing machines, okay? I just want to sell more washing machines, but I want to sell more washing machines with the best amount of data being used in the right way that I possibly can. And you're right, the challenge there has always been that you have people who are uneducated users trying to solve a problem that they don't understand, but really knowing the solution that they need, right?
Exactly. And After a while, for a lot of them, it turns out to a sunk cost situation. So they invested a lot of money in this. They outsourced it to a data firm, and they didn't get any result. Their business didn't grow. So they just put money after money, and it's a sunk cost. So what we thought what we saw was a pattern. The problem was they didn't understand their own business and they didn't use their own data. Everything was wasted. So what we thought was that if we can be able to translate those data, analyze those data, so everyone, and I mean everyone in the business, can understand them, we can bring data analytics to their business. But the problem with data analytics today, all over the world, is that it's hard to learn and it's hard to translate. So it's only for a few people in a company, in a big company, and for no one in a small company. But like development, that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, development was for a minority of people. Just some of the people knew development and they can create websites, applications, and anything else. Today, that's not the case. Today, everyone can create a website without knowing any code. Today, anyone can have their applications, their chatbots, anything that they want. And there are a lot of platforms that bring them this simplicity so they can do what the developer was doing for them. The same thing will happen to data analytics industry. Data analytics will become much, much easier to understand and much, much easier to manipulate and to reuse, really, really use in the business. So the main course of us is to simplify the data analytics for their businesses so they can do it themselves, so they can understand it themselves, everyone, the business owner, the operators, everyone. And the second part is to how to grow from that data analytics, because we want to teach businesses how to use those data analytics. What is the next actions? What do you do with these predictions? What do you do with this analyzed data to grow your business in every aspect?
And then so Formaloo came from that moment of saying, we're going to actually do it for you. We're going to put together such an incredible algorithm that it will all just work in the background. And you don't need to actually go in there and work out how it's going to be put together. You just need to you just need to know what is the most important data to you and what you're trying to do. And then come out the other side and say, aha, based on this data that we've received, now we know this is our best customers. So take me a little bit more granular into the actual specifics of what you built and how you built it. I think everybody gets the top level. I actually saw this great talk last night, actually, from one of the Andreessen partners, who was talking about how artificial intelligence and data are the currency of the future, and nothing else really matters. And if you're at that point where you're providing that data, then really you're providing dollar bills to companies to be able to grow. And if you don't have the data, then you're in the dark. So data, there's not a single investor listening to this call that's going to say, I don't agree with you. Everybody's going to be with you on that point. So talk to me about the specifics of what you've built and the types of consumers, the types of businesses that it's actually perfect for, and maybe a few examples that go alongside that.
Absolutely. So the first thing is that there are a lot of data analytics tools, AI tools, and BI tools, and anything else in that area in the world. But the problem is all of these tools, all of these complicated, clunky tools are built for data scientists. The data scientists will understand and use those tools. And that's very, very good, just like development tools. But that doesn't solve the problem for businesses. That's just for data experts, data analysts, and data scientists. They can use it, they can translate data, they can bring the reports, but not anybody else can use those data. We went another way, the entirely another way. We thought, what would be the simple way so every business can do their own data analytics without knowing any of the basis of data analytics even. So it's a no-code platform. Our platform is a no-code platform that provides the power of data analytics without you having to know any data analytics or any development codes or anything else. It doesn't require you to hire anyone to operate it. It doesn't require you to learn anything to operate it. It just works for you, because we believe data should work for you, nor that you should work for your data. That's the past. The future is that you use your data to grow. And for using your data, you need a simple tool that you can understand and you can customize. The main thing is that not any business, not two businesses are the same. Every business have different needs. Every business have different data. Every business have different aspects and features and potentials. So everyone should be able to customize the platform, customize the algorithms, customize everything, and they should understand why are they doing this. So it's very, very simple, easy to use, and it's fully automatic. Because we don't believe that you should do a lot of things that can be automated. A lot of predictions, a lot of data analytics is automated tools. It automated works, and we want to do that for their businesses. Right now, our primary target customers are the businesses who don't have the enough resources to do this with these big, sophisticated, complicated softwares, and there are SMEs and SMBs. The most segment that we are working right now are e-commerces, the growth stage e-commerces that are working, that are struggling with a lot of things, from COVID-19 to economy to logistics and anything else, and they don't have the resources or the time to even think about using their own data. And we just here to say, okay, don't do anything, just use this service and don't do anything, and it just works for you.
Excellent. And then talk to us about some of the users that are actually using it. Maybe some of the use cases in specific.
Absolutely. So our biggest client area is e-commerces. So e-commerces use our platform to drive up sales. They basically are trying to get their existing customers and put the attention on them. A lot of the businesses don't have enough attention on their existing customers, and they are paying attention on getting new customers. Formaloo is all about what is your audience, what is your customer base, and how can you grow from your own data and customer base. So what e-commerces do, e-commerces use Formaloo to analyze their customers, what we call customer insights, track their behaviors, and come up with ways and recommendations to gain more profit from each and every of their customers. They basically are getting more orders more often from each and every customer. So they are getting a lot more sales, like 2.7 times more sales than before, because now they can.
And that's sorry, let me stop you there. So for you to get 2.7 times more sales, like that's got to be some pretty serious output that they're getting from these data analytics. Like, what are you finding that the customers are mainly seeing? So they'll take the data, they'll plug it in. It's very simple to be able to do. And I want you, as a consumer, as a small, medium-sized enterprise, I want you to think of a MailChimp, or I want you to think of a CRM system. I mean, think about the simplicity of a tool that you require to help you grow your sales. But then think underneath that, there's the complexity of all of these wheels which are whirring around, which are trying to find you what are your best customers, which are the ones that you should be focusing on, and what that focus should look like. But like specifically, 2.75 times is huge, right? So would that something that could happen within the first year, or does it take longer than that? Or what are the milestones that need to take place for companies to really start seeing the maximum output?
Yeah, it actually takes less than a year. It just takes like a couple of months and it's ready to go. Because what we need to do this perfectly and to do this adequately is to come up with the patterns of their customers. And after a few months, the patterns are emerging, and this data analytics algorithm that we are working with is learning itself, so it can adapt and predict the future of every business the same as an AI. So
Amazing. And
yeah.
where are you, sorry, Farokh, where are you pulling those patterns from? What data are you pulling it from?
So the beauty of it is that you can put it in from any customer data, any data that is related to the customers. So we have integrations with most of the e-commerce platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, and everything else. CRMs like HubSpot, Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, payment systems like Stripe, PayPal, chat system, health desk system, any touch point and any data source that is used to interact with customer data can be integrated to this. And more data it has, the better results it gets. So we have customers that put an integrated 15 services that they use to get the better results, to have more AI power all over their business. And basically they are using it as their own desire. They can customize it as they want. For a business, selling this product is more important. For another business, selling something else is important. So we are all about personalizing the experience both for our clients and for our clients' customers.
Incredible. And then, so you've built this on your own, or talk to us a little bit about the team that you have around you?
Yes, yes, we built this entirely in-house, and our team, we know each other for more than 10 years now. We are working each other for more than 5 years now. We actually started working with each other in my previous startup, which we sold, and the team started this startup together. So the team is some of very noteworthy data experts in the world. We were working with more than 10 years in data-driven business solutions. We provided data-driven business solution to big enterprises.
Yeah.
And we kind of grew this data analytics and data mining engine through these years.
Incredible. And then, so just looking at some of the team members, because the nice thing is, I love how humbly you, and it's always, a lot of it for me is very amusing, because there's a difference between an American entrepreneur and sometimes a European or a foreign entrepreneur, is that when you say, oh, well, yeah, I exited one or two companies beforehand, and you hardly even mention it. It's just a passing comment rather than anything else. But I'm sure your team are saying to themselves, like, this is the guy I want to lead the helm. This is the one who's going to take us to be the big one this time. So how big do you see this going?
Oh, pretty big. We want to be a unicorn in 3 years. So we are thinking about gaining. We had a good year in 2020. Let's be honest. We had like 700% growth in 2020, and we are not going to slow down. So we want this to be the newest standard of data analytics all over the world. So basically, we want to every business in the world to use this, no matter what size they are and what they are using. Because the beauty of it, it's a platform. They can do anything they want themselves.
And
So
the wonderful thing listening to you or watching you is that there is not a shadow of doubt in your voice. Like, you are so 100% sure that this is going to break through. So if you're going from right now, what have we got, like 12,000 users?
yes,
So we've got 12,000 users today, and we know that to be a unicorn, you have to be about 12 million users, maybe. Maybe we could do a million users going upwards, right? But let's say 12 million just to be safe. What does that journey look like, and how can you be so sure that you're going to make it all the way?
two things, and I see it in two ways. One, the world that we know it is leaning that way. So all we want is that we want to do everything ourselves, and all the products in the world are enabling us to do so. So just like that, I mentioned that development became so easy, so everyone can create their own websites. Data analytics, which is the next big thing, and it's right now just concentrated to very few number of people, will become the new standard, will become the new writing or reading as it was programming 20 years ago. And everyone must be able to do that, because if they are not doing that, the business will die. Big enterprises, big businesses Just look at what's happening with Facebook, Google, Twitter, and everyone else. They are using their data, and they are using your data to grow themselves. But if other businesses don't do that, they become much, much smaller and they will die eventually. But every business will embrace their own data and will do their data analytics to grow. So that's the way the world works. That's the way the startups works. Right now, from this year's top 100 YC companies, you can see 25 of them are API-based companies. They are enabling other companies to use their own system, infrastructures, anything else. So that's an emerging market. From our customer data platform, just in 2020, two of the biggest customer data platform were bought by bigger enterprises, one Segment and one Exponent just a few days ago. So that's the way the world is working. They know the importance of data, and they know that they should understand it themselves. Nobody else can do it for them. So this will be the new standard of working with data. And about what the second point is that we are very happy with the results that we are seeing from our clients' businesses. So our success is when our clients' business will succeed. So when they are growing, we are growing. And right now, we have 1.7 million customer data analyzed. And we are very, very happy about that. In 3 years, we should be able to have this number in billions.
And then, so if you look at the growth of your customers, because again, I'm entirely convinced on AI, information intelligence, companies just not using dumb, because it's impossible to be able to, with the amount of companies and products that there are in the market, it is impossible to be able to get those to the consumers in the way it's been done before, which was just like sending them out to as many people as you possibly could. Now it's about smart selling, simple as that. So how do you become, like, what are the challenges with competitors coming in there against you? And then what does your growth trajectory look like in 2021 and 2022 and 2023?
The first thing about the competitors, a lot of great things is happening, but a lot of great things is happening for data scientists. So every day, the work of and the life of data scientists are getting easier, and then the number of tools for them are growing and they are getting better. But most of the big corporations that are working in this don't understand or don't want to understand that not a lot of businesses can afford data scientists, and not all of the data scientists are the best ones. So most of the corporations, most of the businesses will end up with second-rated or third-rated data scientists that don't understand data very well, and they do the second-rate job, to be honest, and they don't do the great job that a great data scientist can do. And another thing, and that's why we tackle it on another way, so everyone can do it, so not just data scientists. And another thing is that
there's also, by the way, on that point, there's also a disconnect, because the challenge is data scientists are data scientists. Like, all they wanted to be able to do is analyze and look at data and see what's happening, while CEOs of companies are dealing in a world of outcomes. So they need to be able to change the outcome. And the problem with changing outcomes is it's not a pure mathematical equation. You need the mathematical equation to then start the dynamic of trial and testing, changing the outcomes based on specific things that you're doing. But the more of that you can do yourself, the more successful you're going to be as a company.
Exactly. That's very to the point. And our second challenge, which is our main challenge right now, is right now data analytics, data mining, everything that we talked about is actually a very, very big words for a lot of businesses. A lot of them think it's scary words. And we want to tell them, no, that's not like before. That's not like when someone told you that you should invest a lot of money or time or hire a lot of people to do this. Today's changed, and the data analytics is not scary anymore. So our biggest challenge right now is that to get small and medium businesses and small and medium enterprises to adapt to a world of the new data analytics that is very, very simple and very understandable, as you just said. So they can do it. The CEO can do it. The CMO can do it. Everyone in the business, even if it's an e-commerce with 2 people, they can do it themselves.
So how many users are you going to grow to in 2021? You got 12,000. You had 700% growth in 2020. Come on, predict for me.
So we want to reach to 50K. If we can do that, that's pretty amazing for us.
250K. So you're talking about a 2,000% increase this year.
Yes.
I just want to put that in numbers for you.
Yeah.
Because now you see, this is here in the podcast. It will never go away. It will now survive for infinitum in the future. Like it will never. This is it. 2,000% increase in your revenue next year. And I'll tell you something, I actually believe you're going to do it. And I think you're going to do it with relatively small amount of problems. We're going to raise a little bit of money now, right? What have we still got left on the raise?
Sorry,
we're going to raise a little bit of money right now, right? What do we have left? What do we have open on the raise for new investors?
So I want to say we are very aggressive to get to new markets. And right now in 2021, our target market is US.
100%.
We want to become one of the top players, if not the top player, one of the top players in the market by end of 2021.
Beautiful.
And that's an ambitious goal, I know, but if we can be the new standard of data analytics, we can do that, and everyone will embrace to use the Formaloo in part of their business. I don't say fully, but in part of their business, because they can understand how easy it is and they can adopt it more. So we want to scale as fast as possible in US, and that takes a lot of investment, I know, and we are right now growing our sales and marketing team so they can put up with the demand, and so we can sell more, basically. And I'm happy to say that we are one of our own very good customers. So we use our own software to grow. And we want to do that more.
Incredible. So how much money do we need to raise?
At least $1 million in 2021 would be, or more.
Yeah, and we might push that. I think we might even push that up to 1.5 or so. I mean, if you think about the goals of 2,000%, and for all investors listening, these, when Y Combinator back in the day, because you mentioned them, they put down, what is our trajectory for a unicorn? The trajectory is if a company is growing by 12% every single month, then it's on par to be a unicorn. So what you're talking about is actually outpacing those goals massively. And one of the things I liked about you most, it wasn't so much, look, if we can find an entrepreneur who's had success previously, that's a beautiful thing. And if we can find an entrepreneur who's extremely smart in his own domain area, that's an even more beautiful thing. But what I like about you most is your aggression. I like the fact that you're not going to settle. You're not just building a company where we'll see where it goes. Like, this is your time. Everybody reaches a moment in their life when they're absolutely in their stream and they are swimming as fast as they possibly can. And they may never swim this fast before in the future, and they may never have swam this fast in the past. This is your moment. I truly believe it. I believe the next 5 years of your life are going to be your defining moments.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Yeah, and that's why we invested, and that's why we're very happy in making sure of where you are. So we have you breaking into the US. We have the product, which has already got to 12,000 people. That's going to grow to 250,000 people. And I know, I don't even need to ask you for 2022, because I know that you're going to be saying 2.5 million people plus, right? You're so predictable already. So I get your numbers. We already know, for investors listening, it'll probably go somewhere between a $1 and a $2.5 million raise between now and the end of 2021. And then once we get to 2022, then the raise will be somewhere between $5 and $15 million to really boost the company up and get it to that next level. And I'm sure Farokh would probably say, Brian, 2.5 million is not going to be enough for us in 2022. We want to go higher. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to talk a little bit about, the factual part of the journey we've done. Investors who are listening, if you don't want to do a demo on the platform, I don't know what the heck I have to do with you. This to me is a no-brainer. So let's move a little bit to the emotional. So talk to me about the journey. Has this journey, because the journey of an entrepreneur, I always parallel it to the movies, where at the beginning of the movie, you know, the guy and the family are in the house, and then the murderer comes in and kills the family, and the person goes through tragedy for like 4 or 5 years, becomes an alcoholic, a drug addict, and then like struggles out of it in the end, and then fights back and kills all of the gang, right? So, but that first 3 or 4 years, man, it's a tough time that you got to fight through. I feel with you, I don't feel as much of that turmoil this time around. And maybe it's because it's your third startup, or maybe it's just because you're very, very, very good at hiding it. Talk to us a little bit about the emotional journey of when you started this company to where you've got to now, and some of the challenges that you faced on that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So now, actually, when we started Formaloo, we didn't think of it as a business. So we saw the problem, and we saw that a lot of our clients had this problem. So we just told ourselves, okay, just for our own sake, let's make something that make our life easier, not the
similar
life of them.
similar to how Slack was invented,
Yes,
right? They made it for
exactly.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't think of it as a business, basically. So we put up it, and actually we put up it as a free version, so they can use it, and we can have more time in our hands. And they loved it. They loved it so much that they asked for a lot of features, and they were willing to pay a lot of money for a lot of these features and a lot of more customization. And we thought to ourselves, okay, that's a viable business, and we can make it as a business. So we turned it out, and we became full-time on it, and we developed the product, and we offered it to a lot of businesses, and they loved it. And after a while, we saw huge reactions from different type of customers, from e-commerces to events to universities to startups and big enterprises. They were using it for different things, and we love that they are using it for different things that we didn't think it was possible. And they were using it, they were customizing it, and we saw that, okay, we can make it to the next level. And we offered a lot of things. So right now, our product is 3 main things, what we call data collection, because every business needs data collection, and they need to have the flow of their data, which we call Formaloo data flow, which integrates their businesses to them. And the third part, which is data analytics, what we call Formaloo customer data platform. And with covering data collection, data flow, and data analytics, we are covering 80% of what every company needs to do when they want to go fully smart, and they want really to embrace data. And that's how we grow, and we grew a lot more. And since the COVID hit, at first, a lot of our business customers were struggling, but a lot of new customers emerged from it. For example, universities and schools, which were offline, and before that, they became online, and they became very aware of how much data they can use. And they are right now one of our main customers, and they are using it in many, many ways. It was a bumpy road, but not in growth, that on keeping up with what our clients need. And we are trying to make it big very soon in the US.
You love it. I just love asking you the emotional question, because you bring it straight back to logic again. You're saying, I'm going to try and find something that was hard, but actually we built a product because we felt that it would be really useful for us. And then our clients loved it, so we made it better. And then we didn't really have a problem with growth because people really liked the product. And then so now we've just got to a stage where we've increased our revenue by 700%, and we're going to increase it by 2,000% in the future. Like, what do you want me to tell you? There's no tragedy here, okay? We're doing really well. We're building a unicorn. This is how it's going to be. So look, I want to leave the last few words with you. I could not be more pleased that we have invested in you. I believe that you are going to be a unicorn.
you.
I believe that you are building the future of we're building website 4.0. Whereby websites should be smart, data should be smart, it should help us. It shouldn't be something that's used by other people to manipulate us, the folks who have the businesses. It should be used for the businesses so that we can be smarter in actually engaging with our customers. So your time is absolutely perfect. So if you could share your email address, website details, please, and then any other information for investors that might be useful, because that's where we distribute this afterwards.
Awesome. Sure, absolutely. So our website, check it out. Just Google Formaloo, but formaloo.com with double O. And my email address is Farokh@Formaloo. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. The Farokh has one R and the Kh sound is KH because...
And don't worry, if you struggle, just send it to Brian at Expert Dojo and I'll bring Farokh into the conversation, okay?
And additional info, we are another thing, we love that we are a distributed company. We have people working in many countries and we are embracing the distributed work, and we are what we call a result first company.
I love it. There's nothing more investors want to hear. Like I said, Farokh, we're going to build something beautiful in the future. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
To be continued. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you very much for having me, and we will rock this together.
And that's a wrap.